Hello and welcome to a quick little Korean update. It has been 3 months since I started learning Korean, and honestly, I feel like a lot has happened in that time. My timeline is a little weird because I filmed the 1 month update, didn't edit it for 2 months, then just got done editing it, and I'm now filming the 3 months update. So there is a bit of a delay, but I guess that's just how it's gonna be. Either way, I'm still really excited about learning Korean, but I think the source of my excitement is different than what it was initially. Initially, right, at the beginning, everything was kind of new and shiny, and that was exciting. I was learning so many new things at the same time. Now, I feel like I've moved on to, I can see the results. I can see that I'm making progress, and obviously that is really exciting, and that keeps me motivated. For the last 2 months, I've also made it a priority to be really consistent because I knew that consistency was going to be the number one driving factor for whether I was going to make progress in Korean or not. And I feel like I've done an exceptionally good job at this, especially with my reviews. I was super consistent. There was one 5 day stretch where I was at the hospital, so I just didn't really want to do anything. I could barely function. So I figured, let me just not stress about this. But honestly, when I came back to learning Korean, I feel like some of the grammar points and vocabulary cards that I had struggled with before were, I don't know, they just had some time to settle down, I guess, and then suddenly I could remember them pretty well. I wasn't as consistent with learning new information from the academy. One, because my routine was a little suboptimal for that. And two, because I'm not too worried about going at a super fast pace. And honestly, all things considered, I'm still going at a really solid pace. So yeah, it's not something I was worried about at all. Speaking of routines, this is what my current routine looks like pretty much every single day. Usually, first thing in the morning, right after I wake up, I will do my Korean reviews because I don't want to have to bother with them throughout the day. I just want to get it done. And it's kind of nice to have something done before the day even really started, right? It recently came to my attention that there's a lot of different ways to do reviews, so here is an explanation of how I do them. The front of the card only shows the sentence, and I will read the sentence. If I understand it, great, move on. If I don't understand it, I will go through it again, slower, look at every single word, and try to figure out where the issue comes from. If the issue is a vocabulary issue, I will click on the word and see what that word means, and then see if I understand the sentence based on that translation of that word. If I then understand it, great, I move on. If I still don't understand it, I will flip the card and look at the translation and then piece together what I didn't understand or what confused me. The reason why I only have the sentence and not also the word on the front of the card is because I don't want to test whether I understood a single word or not. Because I feel like the academy is really big on grammar, and you can only check whether you understand a certain grammar point when you see it in the context of a sentence. So the sentence to me is a lot more important than the individual word, though, of course, if I don't know any of the words in the sentence, I'm still going to fail the card. Then, once I'm done with my review, I will usually have breakfast, and while having breakfast, I usually do my immersion for the day. I've been watching the same 3 channels for the last couple of weeks because I feel like their content aligns with the Korean Academy pretty well. And honestly, that's the ideal setup, right? You use the academy to prime the information, you gain awareness that a word or a grammar concept exists, and then you immerse and you realize, oh, this is how this is used, or oh, you can also use it like that. That's so interesting. And you can start noticing the words you learned from the academy. Usually, I will watch comprehensible input videos for about 20 to 40 minutes. I found that that is a really good spot for me to review things that I'd already seen in the Korean Academy, but also stay focused throughout the entire time. Then, once that's done, I don't really do anything throughout the day until the evening. And I used to do this literally right before I went to sleep. Like, I would sometimes be half asleep learning new cards, which is very suboptimal. So I changed it to do my new cards a little earlier, which just means, I'm going through the academy, I'm going through the lesson. I try to read the example sentences, obviously read the explanation for the grammar. I will listen to the example sentences, and then I will do the new cards between 15 to 20 at a time. Really depends on how long the lesson is. Sometimes I will also make an effort to find parallels between Korean grammar that I'm just learning and Japanese grammar that I already know, because the two languages are really structurally similar. They have a lot of very similar concepts and are just expressing them in slightly different ways. But finding these parallels has been really helping me. But yeah, so the biggest changes over the last 2 months have been that I am immersing a lot more now and I'm finally getting something out of it. I know some people say that, just immerse from day one and you will train your sound perception. But personally, I find the thought of just listening to something for like 2 hours and you don't understand anything, I find that to be very discouraging and I don't know, not very fun. But now that I actually know some stuff, I can finally get something out of my immersion. I feel like it's a good use of my time. And I would say it is also necessary. Using the Korean Academy, I feel like it is really necessary to do something outside of that because the Korean Academy goes at a really fast pace. Even if you do less lessons or cards than I do, you're still learning a lot of information in a very short amount of time. And if you don't get that outside reinforcement through, I don't know, exercises, reading, listening, right, you're gonna feel overwhelmed pretty quickly. And since we're on the topic of different activities, I still have not started reading, even though I know I said I would. But I feel like the routine I have right now is working really well for me. And since I'm moving to Japan pretty soon, I'm unwilling to change that routine right now. Now, once I'm in Japan, that's a different story. I might get into reading then because I'm gonna have to figure everything out anyways. But right now is just not the time to change anything up. Oh, and since I totally forgot to mention that in the last video, I did not end up taking the Korean class, even though I think it would have been a lot of fun. It just didn't work out. But I guess Korean is gonna be the first language that I learn without the help of any classes. Totally unrelated, but some small wins I recently had was one that I listened to a song that had Korean in it, and I could actually understand some of the words. I also saw some memes and understood them. That was pretty crazy. And I have some Korean friends that occasionally will post something on Instagram, right? And I can actually understand what they're talking about. Not everything, not perfectly, but I know what's happening, and that is great. Though I will say, and I think I've recently mentioned this in another video, sometimes I will see a wall of text, right? Like an Instagram caption, for example, and I'm like, that is so much Korean, there's no way I could ever read that. But then when I actually sit down and like go through the words one by one, I can understand what they're writing. I am pretty sure though that I am now further with my Korean than I was when I was studying last time, which, mind you, that was 9 months of not consistent study, but it was 9 months of studying Korean on and off, right? Maybe vocabulary wise, I'm not quite there, but grammar wise, I've definitely caught up because I'm learning so much grammar. Now, vocabulary, obviously, if I was reading, I might actually already be there, but I'm not reading, so that's on me. And here are some stats for where my Korean is currently at. I'm not gonna go into any of these because you literally have the whole video to give context to these numbers, but if you wanna pause, feel free to do so. Now, as I just said, I will be moving to Japan pretty soon, so there's a lot going on in my life, but I will try to keep up with my routine for as long as I possibly can. Ideally, I would like to finish the Korean Academy before I move to Japan, but at the same time, I don't really know what to do once I'm done with that because I don't want to go into sentence mining. I feel like it's quite a time intensive activity, and I'm not sure if I will have the time for that. But at the same time, if I don't do something like that or get into reading, then I feel like I will lose a lot of the progress that I just made. I'm kind of hoping that the Academy 2 will come out pretty soon so that I don't have to worry about what to do until the end of the year, but obviously I don't know if that's gonna happen. I feel like I would really benefit from some light exercises, like some fill in the gap or like write the sentence and then have someone correct it, because right now my knowledge is super receptive and I feel like, I don't know, just some exercises would really help clarify and help me differentiate between the different grammar points. Yeah, if you have any suggestions, any maybe like textbooks or workbooks or websites where I can practice a little bit, let me know. I would be very grateful for that. If you have any questions about anything or anything was unclear, let me know in the comments as well. And if not, then I guess I'll see you again for a 6-month update video.